The newly released Pixel 7a is here, so that brings up the topic of today's video. Should you get the Pixel 7a or just go ahead and get the Pixel 7 since there's only a $100 difference, and in some cases you can probably pick the 7 up for cheaper than the 7a, which is interesting. But which one should you pick? I'm going to keep this video short and sweet because the answer is in fact short and sweet. So instead of wasting your guys' time, I'm going to go ahead and tell you straight away. Get the Pixel 7. But if you want to know why I came to that conclusion, continue the video. So as I've said before, the price difference between the two phones is only $100, and in fact you can pick up the Pixel 7 for cheaper than the 7a in a lot of deals going on. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put a link down below for the 7a and the 7 for you guys to compare and contrast. And if you want to pick either of those up, well, those are going to be the best prices. So for a $100 price difference, you might expect that the differences between the two phones aren't really that big, but in fact, they kind of are that big. So let me go ahead and go over the specs. I'll break it down for you, and then I'll give you guys my true and honest opinion, which you already know because I said it in the beginning of the video, but now I'm going to be breaking it down. You following along? Good. Subscribe. So the displays on the two phones, right? Both of them are Full HD Plus, with the 7a having a slightly sharper resolution on paper. But that's not something you would notice because the difference between the PPI or the pixels per inch is very, very minimal. In fact, the 7a has a greater pixels per inch simply because the screen is smaller by 0.2 inches, so the pixels are going to be crammed into a smaller space, therefore increasing the PPI. What does that mean to the average consumer? Like I said, absolutely nothing, because the difference between the PPIs of the two phones are very minimal and you won't really notice. Now, brightness is something that you also will notice a difference between the two phones. The 7 is a much brighter device than the Pixel 7a. That's not to say the 7a is bad, but if you're outside constantly, if you work outside or you spend most of your time outside, you're definitely going to be benefiting from the 7 over the 7a. Now, when it comes to durability, the 7 has the Gorilla Glass Victus, the 7a has Gorilla Glass 3. Now, here's the tricky part, okay? You ready? So, Gorilla Glass Victus is more drop protected, Gorilla Glass 3 is more scratch protected. So if you're clumsy and you drop your phone a lot, you're going to be benefiting from the Pixel 7. And if you somehow manage to always scratch your phone somehow, you're probably going to be benefiting from a Gorilla Glass 3. That's because you can't have best of both worlds. The more crack resistant glass is, the more scratch prone it is. And same goes, but vice versa. So you kind of have to pick and choose what kind of a person are you. Do you scratch your phones or do you drop your phones? Pick and choose. Now, when it comes to the actual tech, both phones go up to 90 Hertz. Both phones have the same exact contrast ratio. And, well, I mean, you guys are looking at the rest of the specs on screen. They are basically identical. Now, battery life is also another difference. On paper, battery capacity is pretty much identical, but for me, the Pixel 7a, especially if you put it to 90 Hertz, because out of the box, by the way, it's only at 60 Hertz. So I think Google kind of knew that the battery life would be not good, but I don't know why, because the capacities are basically identical. But for me, the Pixel 7a lasts around 5 hours, and the Pixel 7 gets, on average, not every day, but on average, an hour or a little bit more than an hour of screen on time extra. So, don't know how. I tried to understand it, but I just can't. So if you're looking for the more endurance device to last you more throughout the day, go with the Pixel 7. And on the battery note, if you do reverse wireless charging, so you can, set your phone like this, grab a pair of Qi wireless headphones, place it on top of your phone and have it charge, the Pixel 7 can do it, the Pixel 7a cannot do it. So pick and choose. And also on that note, the Pixel 7 also charges faster, I believe 20 watts, whereas the Pixel 7a charges at 18 watts. Also, again, on the battery note, the Pixel 7a, the wireless charging on it is only at 7.5 watts. That's it. Like, even if you buy the Pixel stand, the dedicated Pixel stand from Google, it's still going to be 7.5 watts. Meanwhile, with this, if you get the Pixel stand, it goes up to 20 watts. So much faster charging. By the way, with Father's Day quickly approaching, Ridge is sponsoring today's video. Everyone knows Ridge, okay? I like Ridge. I've been using Ridge even before they sponsored today's video. Why? Because I like their wallets. It's nice and sleek. If you think about phones, for example. Look how much phones have changed in the past 10 years or 20 years, right? But why are wallets the same? Okay, your dad probably has a wallet filled with receipts from 1995. Hey, Dad, time to let it go. So do your dad a favor and get him a nice modern wallet. No more receipts from 1995, please, okay? They fit 12 cards. And by the way, if you are a money man, you like to keep a little bit of cash on you, it comes with a money clip or a money strap like I have on this wallet. And it's also RFID blocking. They got 30 different colors and different kind of styles to choose from this burnt Damascus to this forged ember. And there's over 30 of them, so you can pick and choose which one you like best for your dad. And by the way, it comes with a lifetime warranty, so if anything goes wrong, Ridge will cover it. Ridge also sells a key case that can fit up to 6 keys, very simple to use, and best of all, you hear that? Nothing. No annoying key jingling. You know what I'm talking about. Ridge also offers the 99-day test drive, so if you don't like it or your dad doesn't like it, I'm pretty sure he will. But if he doesn't, you can return it for a full refund, okay? So go ahead and go to ridge.com/markstech, and you can get up to 40% off from now till June 15th, okay? Again, that's ridge.com/markstech. And now back to the video. So the build quality, okay? So the Pixel 7 is the more premium device. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it is made with glass on the back, whereas the Pixel 7a is made with plastic. Personally, I don't care. Most people use a case anyway, but if you're the type of person that just wants to have good quality, you know it, right? Maybe someone else doesn't know it, but you know it, right? That's the most important thing. After all, you bought it, right? So the Pixel 7a is definitely the more premium device, but when it comes to the actual processor speed and the amount of RAM, it's identical. They both have the Google Tensor G2 chip with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but the Pixel 7 does go up to 256 gigabytes, whereas the 7a tops out at 128. So if you download a lot of games, a lot of movies, a lot of videos, apps, dating websites, you know what I'm talking about? Then you're going to benefit from the Pixel 7 if you do upgrade to the 256 gigabyte version. Now the cameras on paper might seem better on the Pixel 7a because everyone knows having a higher megapixel count equals better video and better photos, right? Wrong. The actual pixel size on the 7 is larger, which means you get better low light performance, and again, that is something that I definitely have noticed. The autofocus performance on the Pixel 7 is also better than on the 7a because it has laser autofocus, and the Pixel 7a has phase detection autofocus. And it's okay, but you do have some issues keeping your subject in focus, so again, do keep that in mind. The Pixel 7a does have a wider ultra-wide angle coming in at 120 degree field of view, whereas the Pixel 7 is at 114 degree field of view, which does mean if you are getting the Pixel 7a and you switch to that ultra-wide lens, you will be able to fit more of the scene in your photos. The differences are quite apparent, but it also kind of depends on what you take a picture of. Like if you're standing very far away from something, 114 versus 120 might not make that big of a difference. But if you're in a cramped room trying to take a group selfie or something, yeah, you're definitely going to be benefiting from the Pixel 7a. So again, you pick and choose on which phone is best for your situation. The same story kind of continues with the front-facing camera too. The 7a does have a wider front-facing camera, so if you're taking a bunch of group selfies, this phone is going to be for you. But the actual pixel size, again, that's arguably more important, is better or bigger on the Pixel 7, which means better low light performance. So if you're out in the club, this phone's gonna do you good. The speakers between the two phones are also slightly different. I feel like the Pixel 7 has a more fuller sound over the 7a, but not just that. The Pixel 7a only has 2 microphones, whereas the Pixel 7 has 3 microphones, so noise cancellation is going to be better on the Pixel 7. And you also get spatial audio, the Google's very own spatial audio with the Pixel 7, which means if you're listening to music through headphones, it's gonna sound like Apple's spatial audio if you've heard it before. So it's gonna feel like the music is kind of around you instead of like in your ears, even though they are in your ears. You know what I mean? Subscribe. I just don't really understand the 7a. It's not a bad phone by any means. I don't want you guys thinking it's a bad phone. It's not. It's a really good phone. But for the price, I would go for the Pixel 7. It's a no-brainer. Better battery life, better cameras, better low light performance in the cameras, faster charging, more premium materials if that matters to you. It just makes more sense. And also you got more storage options. You got more storage options that goes up to 256 instead of 128. I just don't get it. Oh, I almost forgot. You get reverse wireless charging with the Pixel 7 as well. So Again, for that $100 difference, if you even buy these phones without any deals going on, that $100 difference, you really get a lot of bang for your buck with the Pixel 7. But again, there are a ton of deals out there, which brings down the price even further. So that's why in the beginning of the video, I said I really recommend buying the Pixel 7 over the Pixel 7a right now. That is until the Pixel 7a goes on a big sale, like big sale, then it'll be worth it over the Pixel 7 if you don't care about those extra features. But I would still suggest getting the Pixel 7. It's just going to be a better experience for you. But who cares what I think? I'm just a reviewer, you know, what do I know? I want to know what you guys know, because after all, you guys are the consumers. So which phone do you prefer and why do you prefer it? Did you get the Pixel 7a? If you did, let me know why you chose it over the Pixel 7. And if you got the Pixel 7, well then keep it until the Pixel 8 or whatever other phone comes out, you know? But that's basically it, guys. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did, I would definitely appreciate a like. It's completely free to you, but it helps me and the channel out a lot, and I always truly appreciate it. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.